Alrighty guys, well welcome back. Been a long time since kind of stood out front of the camera and talked to y'all, but it's going to be for the start of this video. We are going to end up just kind of finishing with clips of the workout I've been kind of doing for the last 2 weeks. I've ran through it now 3 times over the last, let's see, I guess it would be 14, 16 days. So it is a 5-day on routine with 2 days off or 1 day off, whatever just kind of feels good. I've kind of manipulated it a little bit to kind of move the days around as I've had some stuff kind of go on, but basically we have a heavy upper day, a heavy lower day, a cardio day, which is also mixed in with core. Then we have a light upper day and a light leg day. And then it's a rest day, and then I've been repeating it as like a 5-day on, 1 day off. There has been a few once where I skipped my cardio day because it actually landed on Thanksgiving. So I just kind of tossed that one out the window there. Then I did the next one, and then I actually did not do it this week because I was super sore, and I just used that as my rest day, and then I went ahead and did my light days. That way I could go ahead and cycle through into now my heavy day of chest today. There'll be heavy legs tomorrow. Then I'll have my cardio day on Monday. And then Tuesday is the days I actually have with my trainer. So that way I kind of skip that cardio day with the trainer, like it'd be kind of useless, right? And instead of just deferring a training day to next week, I'll be able to do the light chest day within this upcoming week. So just by skipping my rest day here, because I already had it, sure, it kind of sucks with the fact of, I went from my light chest and legs straight into heavy chest and legs, but it is what it is. That's kind of the way that is going to be happening. But biggest thing is I want to get on camera here, show where my physique is starting at. So really, I kind of somewhat started my diet. It's really starting basically yesterday. Yesterday I weighed in at 225. Did a bunch of cardio, cut the calories down, came in at like 2,400 calories yesterday. My calorie cap right now is 2,600. That's going to go down 200 every single month during the cut. Planning on cutting for at least 4 months. So that's 800 calories. That's going to come right off the rip. So that's 1,800 calories is where we're going to end up ending at. That part's going to suck. But we'll see. We may not have to go that low. Cardio-wise, minimum cardio started at 5,000 steps 2 weeks ago. Last week was 6,000 steps. This week is 7,000 steps for minimum steps. If I can get to 10,000 steps any day during this period of time, awesome. But it's not breaking not to hit it, basically. So we're going to work with that. But the other thing is on top of showing where my physique is at starting the cut after the bulk, is I also want to be very upfront. I went to the men's clinic yesterday, and which was Friday, December 4th. I think it was the 4th. I think today's the 5th. Either December 4th or 5th. Whatever it is. Had my testosterone checked. So like as previously inside of the channel, we've gone over the fact of I've been super fatigued. I don't really get a lot of sleep. My rest kind of sucks. I struggle during the cut phases that we have gone through for the weight to actually come off, especially like the fat to come off. Like the weight kind of comes down, but the body fat never really leaves. So like the most part, it feels like I'm just losing muscle. And that was noticeable with the strength loss too during the cuts. Like it was very aggressive strength that was diminishing during the cuts. So with that, like, I had started seeing my primary care physician 3.5 years ago before I really even started getting into the working out thing, because I was already fatigued and just always tired and bad sleep and just felt like crap really all the time. And they tested my testosterone 3.5 years ago. Is at 304. 299 is clinically deficient. And he went, well, you're not 299, so we're not doing anything for you. We'll see you next year. Next year rolled around, and over that year, I started taking a lot more supplements to try to like naturally increase it, and zinc and copper, and a whole bunch of stuff, like whatever I could take, I took. And next year, it went to 354. So it went up, but still nowhere where a 36-year-old male should be. So, at 35, it's 304, 36, 354. And now I'm 37. Earlier this year, if you're following back then, in June or July, whenever that was, you know that I went to the doctors and it was 374. So, sure, I got it to come up another 20 points over a year, but went up 50 points and then 20 points. So already the rate that I can make it go up in that period of time of supplementing to make it better is already diminished greatly by 50% at this point, right? So because of that, we have moved down to Florida. I've been here now since September 17th. So October, November, we've been here 8, 9, 10, about 11 weeks, we'll say. Maybe almost 12. And during that time, joined a public gym. I now go to a Crunch. I went ahead and got a trainer because I was having some squat issues. And my trainer, Ray, at Lakeland Crunch, awesome freaking dude. Every time we've kind of had an issue to work through, he's known how to fix it and correct it. And he was able to correct my squat to where I don't have back pain from squatting. A lot of it was kind of like stance oriented and depth with just the weights I was working at. But we also increased my max squat from 290 to 335. So great freaking progress there, right? And most of my training sessions I had during my bulk phase was just to focus on legs with him. We had one chest day and I did like 2 deadlift days with him. So went ahead and did that. I was able to get my bench back to 315 like I wanted to do before I started the cut. And we actually ended up getting to a 475 deadlift. So pretty crazy, like, strength. But I've consistently been training for peak strength now for basically a year and a half to do that. And it's taken months upon months upon months to get to that point. And it just seemed to take way longer than it ever should have, with how consistent we are with our workouts and how training is very specific to do that. So finally I broke down. I went to the men's clinic. 179 is my testosterone level now. I am so below clinically deficient that it's affecting every bit of male health. So, as of yesterday, we are now on testosterone replacement. Not a very large dose. We don't know where it's going to put our levels at initially. Basically, what my doctor at the clinic wants to see is, 800 to 1,000 would be great. That puts us in the high natural range. If I can get there and all of the bad symptoms go away and I feel healthy and energized and the workouts are great and I'm keeping my strength up and the body fat's starting to kind of come off and everything's just doing well, that's where we're going to hang out at. There's no reason for me to really go up. And as long as the blood work looks good as well, you know, because there is some things that because my testosterone's been so low that there's a few markers on the blood work that's a little off because my hormones are so bad. So this should also be correcting some blood work factors all at the same time, because now everything should actually start working better and efficiently how it's supposed to. If I stay below 1,000, that basically leaves me within a natural range, so I'm not super physiologically dosing. So it would only be considered TRT. Anything above 1,000 is, for the most part, unless you're a genetic freak, is unattainable naturally. So when you're getting above that number, that's when you're going into like those super physiological doses, and that's where you're going to be gaining results that you normally couldn't achieve without being on testosterone. Now, granted, those come with their own factors of pushing yourself a little higher. A little bit, for most people, not going to be a big deal. For others, it could have some adverse side effects. But so for me, my dosing started at 160 milligrams a week of testosterone. That is the only thing we're taking. There's nothing else added to that. It's just that. If we have some side effects from it, because we don't know, we've never been on testosterone before, we'll see if we have to address something. If I'm estrogenizing too much of it, have to go on an estradiol. If I start getting some really bad acne from it or something, we might have to look into some sort of acne cure. If the hair starts thinning or something, we'll have to start looking into I know it starts with an E, but I don't remember the name for what the active hair treatment is. But you know what I'm saying, As we go along, there may be something we have to address. But hopefully the dosage is going to be low enough and in natural levels where we don't have to worry about those things, because we're, at this point in time, not trying to. But we are definitely on testosterone and through a TRT clinic. So, want to go ahead and put that out there before this cut even starts and before we move on. So, that way no one's like, oh, well, it's because he's on testosterone. Well, you've seen the previous cuts. I'm fairly muscular, even while getting leaner at 193.8 pounds. I was looking pretty good, 17% body fat. And, I still retain that lower body fat and love handles. And even at that, and I did back in my 20s too, even when I got down to sub 10%, that was the very last thing to go away. That did not disappear until 12% body fat. Genetically, that's just where I hold the body fat, and it sucks. But it is what it is. But let's go ahead and hit a couple poses real fast. So we'll hit front lat spread. We'll go ahead and hit front double bicep. Let's see. We did a front side chest. We'll hit it from the other side. Let's hit rear lat spread. Let's hit rear double bicep. And I think, with that kind of shows where we're starting at. you can compare those to where my physique was last year from the cut. Obviously, right now I'm fatter than I am then by 20 pounds, 30 pounds. So, because I'm 223 right now. And that ended at 193. So, we'll see how quickly the weight kind of falls off. Normally the first week and a half, we dump like 10 pounds, even before this. So that's not uncommon. That, for me, is like excess water weight, excess glycogen that's just stored in the liver and in the muscle tissue from just eating a ton of carbs. So obviously we're pulling the carbs down, so all that stuff is going to be deplenished because we're starting a deficit. This video is kind of running a little longer than I thought it was going to, so I'll probably do this video and then I'll also post a separate little training video to review what we've been doing for those light and heavy days. But with that, guys, this is where things are starting. I'm 37 years old as well. Let's keep that in mind. I've trained, basically started at 24, trained really hard for 3.5 years, broke my arm, took 6 years off. A little longer than that. It was probably about 8 years. So it took about 8 years off at that point after breaking my arm at just about 27. 33, 34 is about when I kind of started working out a little bit more. And that started out with, just literally bench pressing on one day, deadlifting another day, and squatting another day. That's all I did. Just 3 compound lifts, 1 on each day, just to kind of build a routine again. And then it was 2 chest exercises, 2 tricep exercises, 2 back exercises, 2 biceps. And then it was 2 legs and 2 shoulders type of thing. And then I just kind of built a routine back up to where we ended up, I think I was doing 3 on, 1 off, 2 on, 1 off to build out my entire 7 days. It's the way we were doing it. So we had 3 heavy days, a day off, 2 light days, a day off, and then recycled. And that was making a lot of progress for us. That was, from 35 to 37, which I just turned freaking 2 months ago, a month and a half ago. Well, I guess it'd be 2 months ago because this is November 6th and this is December 6th, today or tomorrow, something like that. So we've really been putting our work in and being consistent to get to where we are now. So let's not forget that I have put in a lot of time into strength training and bodybuilding previously and currently before ever even, touching a steroid. Because let's be honest, that's what testosterone is. Whether it's because you need it medically or because you're taking it to increase your levels, it doesn't matter why it is, you're still taking a steroid. Now, the overall outcome is this a naturally attainable level for your health, or are you pushing the limits to get gains beyond what your genetic factor is? So, with that, guys, let's, that's where we're kind of going from there. And we'll see what happens. So with that, make sure you're out there working towards your goals, getting your stuff done. Most of all, just don't be a lazy fuck.